Today we're looking at what are called complex fractions. Complex fractions, of course, are fractions that are complex. Not really meant to scare you, not meant to make you feel like, oh, I can never do this, but really it's just trying to understand how these pieces work together, right? Finding a fraction, you're going to find out that it comes up quite often, right? Where we're taking a fraction and we're dividing by either a fraction or a whole number. Regardless of whether it's a fraction or a whole number, we're going to follow a pretty similar concept. All right, and the goal then is to eliminate the denominator, all right, or to make it equal to 1, so that everything else left on top is good to go. So if I wanted to take 5/3 and make it equal to 1, right now, you're probably thinking, reciprocal, 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 do the reciprocal. And I'd say, congratulations, you're on the right page, right? Any fraction, any number, times its reciprocal is 1. So, if I do that, right, 5 times 5, that's going to give me 15 over 15, which is equal to 1. And in essence, I'm going to come away with a fraction over 1. And we know a fraction over 1 is always that fraction. All right. Now, if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So if I have 3/5 over 3/5, right? It looks funny, but that is the number 1. If I have a number divided by the same number, it's equal to 1. And by doing that now, I can start to solve this equation. I can now get a numerator. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. And suddenly, I've gotten rid of the bottom. It's become a 1. And I'm really left with just this fraction now. Because I'm left with just this fraction, I can say, okay, is my fraction in simplest form? And I can simplify this now. So 6/15. Right? I'm noticing that both are divisible by 3. And so that's going to simplify to 2/5. And I've come away with an answer. So what did we really do? Right? We eliminated the denominator by making it equal to 1. To make anything equal to 1, we're really multiplying by its reciprocal. Reciprocal, and to make it an equivalent problem, we have to put it over itself. Let's try this again. Slightly different problem, slightly different situation, but same idea. We have a fraction divided by, in this case, a whole number, but still, it's a fraction being divided, right? Which, in your mind, you got to say, that really can't happen. That's confusing. Let's simplify this. All right, so to simplify this, our goal is going to be to get rid of this 100. We need that to equal 1. So how do we get 100 to equal 1? Well, of course, multiply by its reciprocal. Right? So if I'm going to multiply by its reciprocal, I'm going to take 100 over 1 times 1 over 100. And if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the, maybe you said top, maybe you're just being quiet, but we have this idea. And this, of course, is going to equal 1. So we're going to have a number over 1. So in essence, our bottom part of our fraction, we figured out it's 1. We've eliminated it, in essence, from the bottom. And so we're just left with the top. Okay, well, how do I take this number and multiply it by 1/100th? All right. Here's where we maybe want to rewind. Before we eliminate, we might want to take this and change that into an improper fraction. Take the mixed number, turn it into improper fraction, because that's what we're going to have to do now. So if I take 23 times 3, 23 times 3 equals 69 plus 2 is 71. So 71/3, Right? So I've taken this number and I've transformed it into this number, and I'm going to multiply that number by this. And if we take what we were doing up here, this part right here, technically all of this is now over 1, which everyone knows that anything divided by 1 is 1. So in the end, we come away with this for an answer: 71 times 1 equals 71, and 3 times 100 equals 300. And as I look at those those numbers do not look like they're divisible by 3 or by 2. And so we're going to leave it with that for an answer. It might seem more complex, but it's actually simplified. Let's try one more together, and then I'll give you one to work on. Here where we want to move from a percentage to a fraction. So we've worked with changing percentages and fractions before, so let's work with this idea. To change a percentage into a fraction, we first need to take our number and put it over 100. So we have 83 1/3% divided by 100%. Look pretty familiar? Of course it does, right? So this is going to eliminate a percent. They're gone. I'm going to take the first step and I'm going to convert this into my mixed number already. So 3 times 83 equals 249 plus 1. So that's 250 over 3. Whew, that's a big number. All divided by 100. So in essence, we've rewritten this problem. So the next step would be eliminate our denominator by making it equal to 1. So we've kind of done this already, so this part's easy. So that's going to make 100 times 1 over 100 the reciprocal, right? And then if we do it to the bottom, we have to do it to the top. And suddenly we're left here with our final problem, right? This, of course, is going to equal 1. Oops, shifted a little bit. And so I'm just going to take my numerator now, 250, like this, and I'm going to work this out. So I'm going to go quick: 250 divided by 300. Now we want to simplify, right? So I can knock a 0 off, That's easy. That's dividing by 10. So now I have 25 over 30. That's an easier number to figure out what the factor is. So I'm going to divide both by 5. And what? I have no idea what just happened there. Divide by 5. We're in bizarro world now, I guess. 25 divided by 5 equals 5, and 30 divided by 5 equals 6, and so 5, 6 is our answer. That's kind of a funny way to end the problem. My computer's going crazy. We're being taken over. I'm sorry. You do still have to do the sample problem. All right. Best of luck. Hopefully the computers that are taking us over, making us turn into some bizarro, whatever, crooked world, will allow you to solve this problem. This is lesson 76.